Welcome to Mega Gaming, and today's review is going to be on Lamplight City. Lamplight City is an adventure game studio engine game for Windows, macOS, and Linux PCs. It was released September 13th of 2018. It's a point-and-click adventure game developed by Grundislav Games and published by Application Game Studios. You can pick up this game on GOG for relatively cheap. It is available for $10.49, and given how new the game is, it only takes up a gig of space. So for being a newer game, it actually also has very modest system requirements. If you're not a fan of GOG for whatever reason, you can pick this up on other platforms. It's available on Steam. However, the current price on Steam is $14.99. Reviews on Steam: out of 148 user reviews, it's 90% positive, and for the most part it has very positive reviews on there. So let's go ahead and get the game, some gameplay shown. I'm going to go ahead and mute the audio since it will give away might give away some spoilers. But even watching the video will give away a certain degree of spoilers. So, I just pulled this game out of my collection at random, given it's one that sat for quite a while without me really doing anything except making sure it ran. Made sure it ran, saw it was a point-and-click style adventure game with kind of a stylized pixel art type styling, and it sat. But given my recent experience with The Longest Journey and some other adventure games, I've been developing more of an interest in the genre, and I haven't really played many detective games. Yeah, by the way, this is a detective game set in the roughly the mid-1800s. So, as far as the graphics go, graphics aren't going to blow you away, but it isn't intended to. This isn't the equivalent of Quake or Crysis or Witcher 3 or any game that's designed to really blow somebody away, or Skyrim when it came out. This is stylized to be like a classic point-and-click, early 90s point-and-click adventure game with much cleaner graphics and a streamlined interface to make it much more accessible to the beginning adventure gamer. And really, as far as the gameplay goes, that's who it's geared towards. It's more of has a bit of a easy to moderate difficulty curve. Has quite a bit. The soundtrack and music is quite good, as is the voice acting, and you really do develop a bit of an attachment to the characters. And even without the voiceover from the narrator or the main protagonist, even without the hints they provide you, you can kind of tell when somebody's showing signs of withholding information, or even without looking at or listening to the words being spoken. So as far as the sound, music, and graphics, it creates a package that's very coherent for the setting and has quite a bit of charm. It also, each case, it's set in a rather small city of the 1800s. The cases you are given, it's only 5, but they do have quite a bit of variety as well, a variety of people to speak to, and as a package it creates quite a believable world that you're immersed in. So as far as all the basics that you need for a high quality adventure game, it nails all of those pretty well. So, where does this, am I going to give this game a put in a top tier rating. There's a part of me, if I just go purely on my first, my impressions after an hour or two into the game, I was tempted to rate it quite highly. And the rating is going to get, in the end, it's still going to be quite a good rating. The problem is, there's a lot of dialogue options that aren't, they're written in such a way where you think you're trying to get information in a certain way, but then once you choose it, you realize that you just upset the other character, and then you're blocked off from them. The good thing is it's almost impossible to really lose a case other than shutting off the game, essentially. So the frustrations of many of the classic adventure games where you chose the wrong dialogue option, so the game was unwinnable, and you had to hopefully revert to one of your saves if you had them, and if not, you had to start over. This definitely isn't a chronologue or a Call of Cthulhu Shadow of the Comet. It does make it quite accessible to a new adventure game player. But for someone with more experience, it is a bit on the easy side. And it's carried mostly by the story itself, which, if you're experienced with adventure games, ends up being quite short, given you could complete the cases in an hour apiece and be done with the game, and get a high percentage of the content, not even trying to speedrun it, if you know what you're doing with adventure games in general. Also, your ability to interact with the world is rather limited, and you can click certain items a second time to pick them up, put them in your casebook, and the casebook's quite well done as well. But you don't really have much of an impact with the world other than perhaps choosing the wrong dialogue option, and then you make a bad impression on the person and they block you out from further dialogue options. But overall, this is for $10 or even the $14.99, if you enjoy adventure games, you're going to get that amount of gameplay and story out of it to justify the price. As far as where I'm going to put on the list, it's not going in the A, it's going to go in the B range. It's a above average, very good game. And as far as where I'm going to put it, it's a bit of a tough one to place on here, given I'm going to put it roughly in the middle of the B's. No plus, no minus, just in the middle of the very good to very good games. If you enjoy adventure games or detective stories, definitely get it. The map to move between locations is quite well done. If the graphical style takes an old concept and improves it, which I definitely appreciate, I do highly recommend. If you enjoy the style of game or the subject matter, definitely just pick up the game for that price. It's worth it. But any more than that price, or if you're not an adventure gamer, it's one that you can overlook. So that's Lamplight City, a very good game. Not a top tier game, but definitely above average. Has a lot of good ideas expressed in it that could have been taken a bit further. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.